Hey there, Alan Matthews here from Classical Guitar Shed. You know, people ask me fairly frequently about playing up high on the neck, playing in this zone up here. It's the big black hole, that part that goes off the map that just says the unknown, the dark area. And we play a lot up here, but then when we actually want to get up here and play in places up here, that can get really confusing and we can very easily get lost. And so I created this course with many different ways of approaching playing up in this area and knowing the notes up in the upper positions and finding notes in the upper positions. And so I'm just going to take through a couple of them here. The basic strategy is that if you know a whole lot of different ways of doing something, then you form a much richer mental representation of it. And so that in that moment when you need it, then sometimes this one will come through and sometimes this one will come through. Instead of just having one way of doing something that if it fails you, it just fails. They say one of the traits of wisdom is that you can look at something from at least 3 different perspectives at any time. You can look at any situation from at least 3 different perspectives. And that's the exact same way for reading in the higher positions. It's best, if you want to know what this note is, it's best to have more than one way of getting there. You could count up from B, C, D, that's one way, but you could also use all kind of things. You could use octave shapes. And we talk about octave shapes here in the course, and we talk about using relative pitches and learning the notes just on one string. So actually going up, spending time just on one string, just on the E string, just on the B string, and being able to know those notes on its own. We talk about how it's written in music with the Roman numerals. A lot of reading exercises associated with this course. So reading in the different positions, using scale shapes. If you know your scale shapes, then using those for reading as just a collection of notes that you can use. We also talk about moving existing things that you already know into new positions. So if you know these open strings, if you know your notes on the first string, then you can put them into the 3rd position and the 5th position and the 6th position and the 7th position and the 8th position and the 9th position. You can move these around, and it's the same 3 notes that you'll have up here, but then it's in different places. So strategic ways of practicing that. Strategic ways to play to sight read from a particular note, if you only know one, playing relative to that pitch instead of knowing every single note. So just some ways to kind of make things easier for yourself, knowing some ways to kind of cheat a little bit. Also go through tips on shifting and actually moving down and actually keeping your eyes on the music while shifting as well. We go into some in-depth on some ways of doing that and tricks that you can use so that you won't get lost in your music when you're going up here and looking around and all this kind of stuff, getting out of position with your hand. So just the logistics of it as well. So it's a lot to do in the course, but it takes just patience and consistency and perseverance really and a light attitude to really get comfortable with this. But in time, it certainly does. So I hope that you thoroughly enjoy this course on reading music in the higher positions, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Take care. Bye-bye.